In Las Vegas, his name is synonymous with luxury, the man who's built some of the biggest casinos on the Strip. But tonight, Steve Wynn is under fire. According to the Wall Street Journal, the casino billionaire paid an unnamed manicurist who worked at his flagship hotel a $7.5 million settlement after she filed a detailed report to the casino's Human Resources Department, claiming that during a manicure in his office, Wynn pressured her to take her clothes off and have sex with him back in 2005. The Wall Street Journal talked to 150 past and present employees of Wynn, some of whom allege similar behavior.
There is a cumulative pattern of sexual misconduct from Steve Wynn that comes into view from talking to a large number of employees over a long period of time.
Some of the behavior allegedly taking place in Wynn's office, where he kept a massage table. In a statement, Steve Wynn says, "The idea that I ever assaulted any woman is preposterous, and that the instigation of these accusations is the continued work of my ex-wife, Elaine Wynn, with whom I am involved in a terrible and nasty lawsuit. Elaine has explicitly threatened to slander and destroy me." Tonight, Wynn Resort says it has an anonymous tip line for employees, and not one complaint was made to that hotline regarding Mr. Wynn. Wynn is not just a casino mogul, he's also a major political player.
His advice I like to listen to.
After the election, Wynn became the RNC's finance chairman. Neither the RNC nor Elaine Wynn responded to our request for a comment. But tonight, the Massachusetts Gaming Commission says it takes the allegations against Wynn very seriously and is opening up an investigation of Wynn's Boston casino.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.